Welcome along to I'm going to build a tractor for me, my grandson, my great-grandson, whatever. It's going to be very, very simple because the person teaching you is very, very simple. So, you don't need a telehandler. You can use our telehandler. You don't need a forklift. You can use our forklift. But you don't need anything like that because you're going to make a scale model of a tractor, not a real one. So you don't need any heavy lifting gear. We're talking MDF or whatever. And I'm going to do it very, very slowly because, as I said to you, I am essentially a very, very, very stupid person who is incredibly easily confused. So I would like to convey that. Now, I've learned all sorts of new words in the last few years, and one of them is protocol. And I've just looked up the protocol of doing a video like this, and it has to convey honesty and safety. So I'm going to be honest about what I'm doing, and safety, you have to be very careful. So if you're using anything sharp, like a spoon, or I don't know, I can't think of anything very sharp, something like a brick or something, and certainly not saws or hammers or things like that. You have to use the correct PPE equipment. So if you're going to cut some MDF, make sure you've got breathing apparatus on, and you've got eye protection and headgear and strong boots, etc. So that's really the safety warning. Obviously, you've got to be close to a first aid kit as well if you cut your head off or something. And you have to be aware, obviously, of the emergency numbers, which are 999, but don't go wasting their time unless you've lost a leg, because obviously we've got very serious times at the moment. So that's the commercial done, and good luck with all that stuff. Anyway, so what you need? Well, what you need is you need a pen, a pencil, a ruler, a marker pen, anything like that really, and just about 15 minutes of patience of video, because I don't want people getting carried away or whatever. This is just a simple wooden toy, but I promise you it will look amazing, and you can tell everyone that you've built this, and you don't tell them, for goodness sake, that you learned it from me. Pretend you were out in your shed whittling away, and you came up with it yourself. So today we're going to do the chassis, and the chassis is the basis of most vehicles, so I'm going to teach you how to do the chassis. Now, we are using 12mm MDF, and the reason why we're using 12mm MDF is because we've got about 6 pallets of 12mm MDF, and that is the reason why we're doing it. But obviously, if in your neighbour's skip he's got a worktop or something, use that, or just if he's got a loose panel on his shed, whatever you can get really. But make sure you've got an alibi sorted for when there's a knock at the door. So what we've got to achieve is 2 chassis pieces that are, I'm talking measurements now. Measurements now, because I'm slightly older than hopefully the dinosaurs. I'm talking in inches, and I'm talking in millimeters, and then I'm talking in centimeters. All right. So because I can't think what 30 inches is, I think 30 inches is probably 750 millimeters or 75 centimeters. You need to draw on your sheet, your template, your lump of wood. You need a measurement of 750 millimeters long, or 75 centimeters. Then you need to go up 9 inches, or 220 millimeters, or 22 centimeters. Then from the other end, you need to come up 4.5 inches, or 110 millimeters, or 11 centimeters. And then if you then draw a straight line, the straight line will be about 19.5 inches, or 495 millimeters, or 49.5 centimeters. You come up 3.5 inches, you do a 45, and then you've got your 9 inches there. So when I drew it, I went this way, this way, this way, 45 degrees, this way, and whatever that dimension was, that's whatever it is. So I'll just recap: 750 mil, 220 mil, 220 mil, 45, 85, and then whatever you've got left here, which on my drawing was 495 mil. And what you need to do is cut 2 of those, and ideally they've got to be 1.5 inches thick. But because we haven't got any 1.5 inches thick, we're going to use 3 12 mil, screw them together, and then in an ideal world that will equal 1.5 inches, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much. There is nothing that I'm going to tell you critical. We're going to work to the nearest mile as opposed to the nearest 100th of a millimetre. There's no CNC machines, there's no laser cutting, and this is why you can make this in your shed, on your kitchen table. But obviously, kids, if you're going to use Nan's table, make sure you put a tablecloth on it, because she won't like all those scratches on it, all right? Because I don't think you can get the man from the Yellow Pages any longer now. All right, so that's what we need to do. So task 1 is to cut your chassis rail, and we want 2 of those, and they've got to be 1.5 inches thick. 1.5 inches is 25, 37, something like that. So 37 mil, 3.7 centimeters. If you can get thicker, brilliant. If you get thinner, not so good, because the chassis rail is the structural part. All right. Then we've got to cut a 6-inch diameter, 150 mil or 15 centimeter circle. All right. Now what you need to do is go to Nan's china cabinet and pull out a saucer and draw around it, and it'll probably be about 6 inches diameter. If it's 7, it doesn't matter. If it's 5, it doesn't matter. But about 6 inches diameter, that's 150 millimeters or 15 centimeters in old money. All right? Anyone getting bored of my voice so far? Is this very simple?
Yeah.
Is there anything difficult on it at the moment?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And I hear you say, how thick is that wheel? Well, that is like the diff housing, so it can be whatever you like. So on our thing, it's 12 millimeters. Then the last little bit we're going to do today is we're going to do the front axle. Now, the front axle is, funny enough, 9 inches long again. And it is 3.25 inches down there, which is about 3 inches, about 75. So that's about 80 millimeters. So you go 220, 80, 80, and then you make a nice little shape. All right, that's right. There we go. That's it. Imagine a giant's verruca. And that's the sort of shape you've got to do. Yeah. All right? Is that all right, a giant's verruca?
Is that bit? What's about that bit?
I'm not going to tell you about that bit because I'm going to save that for another little bit. Okay, all right? Lovely. But that was well noticed, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah,
so that is the little bit we need to do. Now, we also need to make that out of about 1.5 inches. Mm-hmm. So again, we are making that out of 3 half-inch sections. All right? Mm-hmm. So just to recap, next time I see you, I want you to have 2 of these cut as a template or as 1.5 inch pieces, and I need 1 of those cut, and I need 2 of these cut. All right. Now, I know what you're all going to say. What about this cutout? Go on.
What about that cutout?
That's funny you ask that.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Well, that is the dimension of whatever two of your chassis rails are. So we've made them out of 1.5 inches. So funny enough, ours is going to be 3 inches. But if you make it out of 2 inches, each rail, it's going to be 4 inches. All right? Now, if you get stuck on any of this, my little loves, because I'm feeling a bit like, what's that Robin Williams? He was what was it called? Not Nanny McPhee, the other one.
Miss Doubtfire.
Miss Doubtfire. That's who I'm thinking I am. Miss Doubtfire. Nanny, is it Nanny? No, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Why was she making go-karts?
Well, she wouldn't, but
Not go-karts,
I
tractors.
feel like I'm educating the children of the world. All right. So next time I see you, make your templates, because if you haven't got the correct wood at the moment, because I know it's a bit tough getting supplies and whatever, you can make it out of anything, or just make a template, and then when we all come good again, you've got all the templates ready to go. All right, so hopefully that's nice and simple. There's not much cutting involved, but just be very careful, because otherwise I'll probably get sued. All right, so we'll see you again very shortly, my loves. Bye.
Bye.